The power of prayer in marriage. Scene 1. The strain of a broken marriage. We didn't see it coming, not at first. The love we once had, the connection we cherished, started to fade away. At first, it was small things arguments, distance, silence. But soon, it became more than we could handle. We became strangers living under the same roof. The days felt longer, the nights colder. Every word felt like a fight, and the love we thought would last forever seemed like a distant memory. We were both ready to give up. Divorce felt like the only option. We had drifted so far apart that reconciliation seemed impossible. We asked ourselves, how did we get here? How did something so beautiful turn into this? And the hardest part, it felt like we were alone in the struggle. Scene 2. A moment of decision. The breaking point came one evening. We sat at opposite ends of the table, staring at the divorce papers. It felt like the only way out of the pain. But something stopped us. It wasn't loud or dramatic, but a quiet voice in our hearts saying, "This isn't the end. Don't give up." We didn't know what to do. We had tried everything counseling, advice from friends, but nothing seemed to work. We were ready to walk away, but in that moment, we made a choice to pray. It was awkward at first. We hadn't prayed together in so long, but we knelt down side by side and asked God to step in. We didn't know if it would work, but it was all we had left. Scene 3. The prayer ministry. A friend suggested we join a prayer ministry for couples, and with nothing left to lose, we decided to give it a try. We weren't sure what to expect, but we knew we needed help beyond our own strength. The first night, we walked in barely speaking to each other. The weight of our marriage, the years of hurt, were heavy on our shoulders. But as we listened to other couples share their stories, we realized we weren't alone. Through the prayer ministry, we learned something we had forgotten. We couldn't fix this on our own. We needed God at the center of our marriage, not just on the sidelines. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Those words hit us deeply. We had been trying to build our marriage on our own, without inviting God to be the foundation. Scene 4. The healing power of prayer. As we prayed together each night, something started to shift. The walls we had built between us, walls of pride, hurt, and resentment, began to come down. Prayer became the lifeline we didn't know we needed. It wasn't immediate. Healing didn't come in one prayer or one moment. But little by little, God began to soften our hearts. He began to heal the wounds we had caused each other. The bitterness started to fade, and in its place, love began to grow again. We realized that the real battle for our marriage wasn't between us. It was a spiritual battle. And through prayer, God gave us the strength to fight for each other instead of against each other. Scene 5. Putting God at the center. For so long, we had tried to do everything on our own, forgetting that marriage was never meant to be just between the two of us. God had to be at the center. When we started praying together, we saw that God was working not just in our marriage, but in us. He was changing our hearts, teaching us how to forgive, how to communicate, and how to love each other the way He loves us. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. Those weren't just words anymore. They became the foundation of our relationship. Through prayer, we learned to love each other with grace, patience, and humility. Scene 6. A marriage restored. Today, we stand here, not as the same people we were before. We've been through the fire, but we came out stronger, not because of anything we did, but because of what God did in us. God didn't just restore our marriage. He gave us a new beginning, a deeper connection, and a love that is built on His grace. If you had asked us months ago, we would have told you that our marriage was over. But prayer changed everything. It brought us back to each other and back to God. Scene 7. A message of hope. If you're struggling in your marriage, if you feel like there's no way out, let us tell you this. God can restore what's broken. He can heal what seems beyond repair. But you have to invite Him in. You have to put Him at the center. It's not too late. Your marriage isn't beyond hope. Through prayer, God can bring healing, forgiveness, and love where there once was pain. Trust Him. Lean on Him. He is the foundation that will never fail. Scene 8. Closing. We've learned that marriage isn't about perfection. It's about two imperfect people who are willing to fight for each other, with God leading the way. Let God be the center of your marriage. Trust Him to do the impossible, and never underestimate the power of prayer. Subscribe for more inspirational stories and reminders that God is always in control.